give the little suggestions and then watch what they do with them.
Yes.
And I think that's incredibly important. It's a balance between child-led, teacher-led, and then doing things together.
Hi everyone, welcome to Teachers GARA. In this YouTube Teachers GARA, we're gonna have professional gonna share about the opinions of every aspect in the early childhood education or early learning years. Hi Nakita.
Hi Trung, thanks for having me.
Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Yeah.
Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself, your career, what led you here, something like that?
Yeah, definitely. So I have been working in early childhood, I think, for just over 15 years.
Yeah.
I started out as an educator and worked my way up to eventually becoming a manager. Also worked in professional learning, professional development for a little while. I think what inspired me to be an educator in the first place is that I just think that it's a really rewarding role, but we also have the ability to make an impact.
This is the second year I've been working with you. You've been such an amazing person, and then you inspire us a lot of how you're treating the children. Even you're not on the floor, you still remember everyone's name. You're still trying to build that connection with the children. So yeah. That's all my impression on you.
Great feedback, thank you, Trung.
Yeah.
Let me share with you a little bit. So, not my first choice when going to university. So, I actually got inspired by someone else to give a try on this industry, and actually I really love it, especially like the time of interacting with children. That's my most favorite part.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, I think sometimes I leave here and I just feel like my heart is so full. Like, you know, you're just making an impact on people every day. Like, even though, as you said, I don't work directly with the children anymore, like I'm working with the educators that support the children. And I mean, it's all people, right? Like, it's the same approach we have with managing people, we have with supporting children. And yeah, I agree with like that. Is an environment that it can be busy and stressful, but your stress is taken away because you know what you're doing is so beneficial.
Yeah.
What is your most enjoyable aspect or moment that affecting you?
Yeah, so it's just interactions. Like, I think that both from the team, like the positive feedback you gave me at the beginning was just really beautiful. Like, I think being supportive is really important to me. Being a good role model, I believe that children deserve the best. So I think that if I believe that and I expect you guys to give that to children, then I need to be able to do the same when I walk into the classrooms. And I just think, like, you know, walking into a classroom and getting down to the children's level and then running at you for a cuddle, or their joy to see you, and then I can reciprocate that and be, you know, joyful to understand what they've been doing or what they've been enjoying. You know, just having that sense of community, the place to come and say good morning and to feel part of, and to create that sense of belonging for new families coming in brings me the most joy.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
So you talk about like getting down the children level. When I go outside and then I see my friend children or something like that, it's kind of the natural behavior. I'm gonna kneel down, gonna talk to them, look in their eyes. I feel that's a very good practice, and then you can actually see what's inside their eyes, like kind of like do you have any like changing behavior after start working in here? Yeah,
absolutely. Like that getting down to the level thing. And I think like it relates to like as an adult, even if you have somebody that's interacting with you on the same level like we're sitting now, it feels like an open reciprocal conversation. You're more likely to open up and be involved. If somebody was to tower over the top of you, it's intimidating, and that power balance is shifted. So I think with working with children, if we want to educate them, we have to have a relationship with them and a connection with them. And so it's respectful to get down to their level. The whole world is created at an adult level. When the children go to the shops, or even often you'll see at the zoo, if they want to look in the animal enclosures, it's, you know, there's brick wall down here. Like the whole world is created at an adult's level, which is really difficult for a child to engage in, which is why in our early learning environment, the furniture is at the child's height. We have displays and resources at the child's height because we're showing them that this space is for them to engage in. We value them, we want them to be a part of it. And as an adult, if we get down to their level, it shows them we're here, we're with you, we're present. I love what you said about looking into their eyes. I think that's really important. And I just think it shows them that we're not here to power over them or to intimidate them. We're here to be with them. We're here to teach them, to guide them, to have a connection, a relationship with them. So getting down to their level, I agree, it's very natural.
Yes.
Very natural to me now, even with my own nieces and nephews, I'll be right next to them and alongside them. And I think that's what teaching is walking alongside children as they engage in their learning journey. And I remember the first time walking into an early childhood classroom when I was studying. I remember walking in and I felt huge and out of place. And I just didn't know what to do. Now it's natural to me because I walk in and I get down to the same level as that classroom. But I feel like that's how children feel in the outside world. Like they walk in and everything's out of place. That's right. So it's just, if we want to educate children, we have to have a connection with them. And the best way to do that is to walk alongside them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's like the importance of that is shown even in adults, right? Like if you've got a manager or a mentor that you've got a relationship with and that respects you, if they give you feedback or set you a goal, you're more likely to want to achieve that and to work towards it because you respect it.
Yes.
It's no different for children. Like if we want to educate them or support them to achieve things in this world, then we have to have a connection and relationship with them because then they're more likely to learn from us and be guided by us. And children can't learn unless they're confident, unless they feel connected. And once they have that sense of belonging, they're more likely to learn. So that's why our interactions make such a huge impact on children. And I just think that, you can't underestimate the impact that has. And a lot of what children are learning is that, who am I? How do I feel safe in this world? Where do I belong? And we want them to have that connection through life. And I think that by interacting with them in a way that builds those strong relationships, we show children you're valued, you matter. And if we raise a whole next generation of people that feel like they matter, they're going to make a huge difference in the world, whether they become accountants or the future generation of teachers or lawyers. Like if you don't feel like you matter and you belong, you can't make any traction with your life. And I think that in an early learning environment, we're not just setting children up for school, but we're setting them up for their life beyond. Like them knowing who they are and being confident to be who they want to be. Because we need all different kinds of people in this world, different personalities, different skill sets to make the world go round. And by showing children we value you, you matter, no matter who you are, no matter who you want to be, you are valued.
You're valued,
It just makes long-lasting impact.
Yeah, that's wonderful sharing.
Yeah.
I think that the misconception definitely in Australia and in Australian society is that children should do what they're told, they should follow the lead of others, that often parents, because even when I went to school and certainly generations above me, we were taught what to learn. We learnt our times tables by rote. We learnt to write letters out by rote, and that was really valued. And maybe it was important back then, but I heard a quote recently that it was about, it's not our job to teach children what to learn, but how to learn. In the world we live in now, there's so many facts out there. You can Google anything to find the answer. Whereas if we teach children a love of learning and a love of problem solving, it means they can become anything they want to be. We don't know what the future holds. The jobs that exist today didn't exist 20 years ago, and you can only imagine what's going to be in 20 years' time. So rather than teaching children like specific tasks, if we teach them to be problem solvers and big picture thinkers and confident people, no matter what happens or what jobs become available, they will adapt to this ever-changing world. They'll be emotionally mature, they'll be resilient, they'll be able to learn new skills. So I think that's the key thing. And also that it isn't our job as adults to overpower children or to teach them directly, but it's our job to get to know them and figure out where their skill sets are and build upon them. Like children don't come to us as an empty vessel. They come to us as a person, as a as a human who has had their own experiences, who have a family dynamic, who have skills and abilities. So it's our job to really get to know them individually so that we can help them to be the best person they can be.
Yeah, that's true. You don't know that the child experience before you talk to them. Like some of them are really master in the dinosaur's name.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Like when
more
you
than me, some children.
Me too. I like the only one I know is T-Rex.
Yeah.
And the 2-year-old one, they can name a lot of them, and then they can just ping to like point to the one that they were saying exactly the same with written on the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Any regretting of your previous practice? Like before you go this far, you understand so many philosophy and practices. Like, do you have any regretting moments?
Yeah, definitely. So I think as a whole, like you fine-tune your ability to interact and engage children over time. So like I'm much better at it and more confident now than I was as an initial educator.
Yep.
I certainly had the misconception of needing to like not have power over children, but to be in charge and in control.
Oh, yes.
Like I used to think that the most important thing is to be in control of the classroom, like have a strong routine. But what it's about is, you know, you have to have a routine in place because children need that familiarity, but it's about being flexible and adaptable as well. Like if you're trying to control the classroom for the sake of controlling the classroom, it's a battle constantly. The children are pushing this way, you're pushing this way. And Whereas if you understand the children's needs and you meet them, it's easy for me to teach them, but then it's easy for them to engage. So it's a two-way street. So being flexible and being adaptable is definitely something that I've grown with over time. And the other thing that's really important, I think, is to be honest with children. Like, the only things I can think regretting is like, you know, working with really vulnerable children who don't have the love and care outside of the centre. And then I remember one child particularly like asking me, like saying like, you know, will you leave or something like that to me because they had been through foster care. And I remember as a young educator telling them that I wouldn't.
What?
But it wasn't true. Like I eventually left, right? So I think now what I know is important in all aspects is to be honest with children. So in that extreme example, it would be a matter of saying like, you know, people come and go from our lives, but it's important to enjoy our time with them when they're there. The same with children. If they're crying when they get dropped off to us in the morning and we're saying to them, Mum will be here soon. No, they won't. Like that makes them more anxious. What's important is to be honest with them. Say like, I know you miss your mum and you're sad. You'll spend some time with us. You have a little play. You have some lunch and a sleep, and then Mum will come back. So it's being more honest. Whereas if we say soon all the time,
like they don't know.
Yeah,
they don't know what soon is.
That's
like
right.
If I keep crying, maybe Mum will be back.
Yeah, that's exactly
soon.
right. That's right. And soon is soon, right?
Yeah.
So if we teach children that's what soon means, they're never going to trust us.
Yes.
Whereas if we tell them like Mum will come back, Mum will always come back, but you know, it'll be after lunch, after a play. That gives them a more true picture of time. So maybe that's something I've learned is to be honest with children. And I think that's another way of showing them respect.
Yeah.
I guess we are teaching children now so that eventually they can do things on their own. So we can't expect children to be able to navigate a world or to do things that they've never had exposure to before. But we also want to give them that flexibility to experiment for themselves. Like even as adults, we learn by trial and error. We learn by making mistakes and then trying something different. So you want to be there to guide them, to support them, to, as you said, give them suggestions on what might work. But then there's many different ways of doing things the right way. So they want to find a way that works for them. So I think that's absolutely the teacher's role, is to be there with them, to guide them. Like it's really important that children have the opportunity to explore and engage on their own. And, you know, our frameworks are largely driven by children's interests. So having something interested to them and being driven by things that they show us they care about. But it's a balance between child-led and teacher initiative, because children only know what they know. But as adults, we have more experience, we know more things. So then, as you're saying, we give the little suggestions and then watch what they do with them. And I think that's incredibly important. It's a balance between child-led, teacher-led, and then doing things together.
Thank you. Thank you for your sharing today.
Thanks, Tom.
Hopefully we can have another chat.
Absolutely.
In another day.
More than happy to. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Oh my God, Tom, that was so nerve-wracking.